Welcome to Good News BNSSG. My name is Kerry Magnus and I'm the Education and Training Lead at the BNSSG Training Hub. I'm a nurse by profession and work clinically as an advanced practitioner within BNSSG Primary Care. The aim of Good News broadcasts is to showcase some of the great initiatives and projects going on in primary care within our area. In this episode, we are focusing on some projects that look at both child and maternal health in primary care. Firstly, let's introduce our Babies, Children and Young Persons Education Fellow and the face behind our Peds Pod podcast, Dr. Ruth Bowen.
Peds Pod.
Hello and welcome back to BNSSG Peds Pod. I'm Ruth Bowen. I'm a Bristol GP working for the BNSSG Training Hub, bringing baby, child and young person education to primary care clinicians. Peds Pod is a monthly podcast where I act as a primary care clinician interviewing experts within paediatrics in this area. I really like podcasts personally. I find that they're a way of learning that fits in really nicely around your day-to-day life. So a lot of primary care clinicians, when we've asked them what are their obstacles to learning about paediatrics, is we don't have the time, we don't have the space, we don't know how to fit it in. Well, actually a podcast I like listening to while I go for a run, but other people might like whilst they're cooking a meal, while they're commuting. So it's just those bite-sized little bits of information that they can get whilst they're going about their day-to-day business. Today's episode we were talking about puberty, so early puberty, late puberty, or having isolated some signs of puberty, and what we should be doing from a primary care perspective. So how can we be assessing them thoroughly and appropriately, whether there's any investigations that we ought to be doing, and when should we be referring on to secondary care. I really enjoy the fact that I am learning something as I do it, because I haven't really got any IT skills. It was a bit of a steep learning curve at the beginning, learning how to record podcasts and the large part of how to edit them, but it's been really fun. I get to meet lots of secondary care doctors in this area, so it's really nice networking and learning about the projects that are going on in this area and feeling like I'm doing something useful, spreading the knowledge and bringing it to primary care and actually connecting primary care, secondary care. It's really interesting seeing how many people are listening. So I've got some software so I could then track exactly who is listening and where they are. So I can't tell if they are primary care clinicians or not. I assume they are because it's very clear that that's who it's for. But it's really interesting seeing that it's actually spreading out. So it is focally in the BNSSG area where I'm targeting it, but it is actually spreading nationally as well. And it's great seeing the numbers increase. So we are between 4,000 and 5,000 at the moment, which is a lot more than I'd originally targeted. So my original aim was 60 downloads per episode. So I'm really pleased with that. And it just shows that it is really useful having a different way of learning. You can find the podcast on the BNSSG Training Hub website and on the Child and Young Person Education page.
It's fantastic to hear that so many clinicians near and far have been engaging with the podcasts. Ruth also hosts our Babies, Children and Young Persons Education Forum alongside our Bristol Royal Hospital for Children colleagues. Please do head to our dedicated webpage for more information. Turning to maternal health, we hear from the community group Black Mothers Matter and what they are doing to reduce health inequalities within maternal health.
Black Mothers Matter started when myself and two of my other really good friends had babies at the same time, and it was around that time that the 2020 Embrace report was released that came with that headline that Black women were 5 times more likely to die during childbirth. As 3 Black women who had just had babies, we felt like we needed to do something. One of the co-founders is a GP, so she had the kind of clinical context of the situation, and we felt like we were well placed to take action. We've currently got 3 groups in Bristol: a pregnancy group, a group that's held at a soft play, so caters for slightly older children, and a bumps and baby group, so for pregnant people and small children up until about 1. And across those groups, there are spaces just for Black or mixed Black women. We're able to offer support, signposting, facilitate peer support, kind of build a more connected picture of maternity services in Bristol for Black women. So today's session, we have some postnatal movement planned with one of our team members. Simone is going to lead a yoga session. You'll see mums connecting, making friends, asking questions, and babies Cute babies, yeah, lots of cute babies.
It's been like going to family where you can sort of pass the baby and everybody takes the baby and goes, hi, and it's like a bunch of aunties. All the love and all the attention is there for the babies, but it's very much about the mum, which is great because outside of this group, there's just not, you don't have that. There's not much for the mum. Okay, you know what? Take the earring. There you go.
Within the group is such a safe place. You have women that almost like as they enter, they take an exhale. It feels so calm and nice to be around people who look like yourself. And I know that a lot of women find it difficult when they enter healthcare environments, looking around and not seeing any other Black women or any other Black care providers. A lot of women here find it easy to ask the questions that they couldn't maybe ask their care provider because they weren't quite sure whether it was safe or whether their care provider was going to be able to tell them the information that they really needed.
Lots of our work is directly with the community, so offering support and services that we think are perhaps more relevant, safe, useful, accurate than some of the other statutory provision that's out there. Not to replace it, but to complement it.
I had quite a difficult time in pregnancy, full stop, not just because of biology. And so I used this group as sort of a channel for education, like being informed of what was actually supposed to happen was really helpful.
When you work in the NHS, it's such a big institution, and when you are a part of groups like this, it really allows you to hear the stories and to be able to take them back to your teams to say, look, this is real and this is real for people. This is how they are feeling when they come into our environment. So what are we doing to create an environment that is equitable? This is about raising standards so that people can actually reach the healthcare outcomes that everyone else is just having the privilege of all the time. So being able to come back and reflect that within my team has been so important.
When we started our work, we knew there was a lot of talk about Black women being disengaged or hard to reach, particularly when it comes to maternity care. We found that to be really, really untrue. Our Thursday group attracts kind of 30 to 40 women each week from all over Bristol who are really enthusiastic and want to learn more and keen to engage in whatever they can. The ultimate aim is redundancy. We don't want to have to be doing this work or keep doing this work, but the more short-term goal is, I guess, to spread, to reach more Black women, to have more interactions with healthcare professionals, and keep building on what we've developed so far.
It's really encouraging to hear about the positive impact this group is having, not just for mothers, but for the maternal health system. If you would like to know more about PedsPod or Black Mothers Matter, please see the links included in the description box. If you'd like to share your good news with us, again, check out the description box for the details or scan the QR code here. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed these videos and they have given you some inspiration or just made you see that great things are happening in BNSSG.